All right, then. So now what we have to do is basically we need to create ourselves a model. So I'm gonna close this, close this, close this, close this, this, close this also. If we need, we can open it. So this is the one that we are going to create. If you search for dialog, oh, not here, the ShadCN. So let's close this. Let's open this dialog. So basically this is the one that we are trying to do. If I click this, it's opening this pop-up, right? And here, the based on the API, we will display the list of products. Once you click that, it's going to open that specific product page. So this is what that we are trying to do over here. So all we have to do is to search for dialog. This is the one. When you click it, it needs to open it. So for that, this is the one that we have to design. So in the components folder, I'm going to create myself a new folder called model.tsx and mark that as a client component. Okay. And here RAFC, let's say model. So for this model, I'm going to design, I'm going to create myself an interface for working with the model props and all these things. So let's say interface model props, open it. So basically we need whether this model is open or not. So is opened, which is going to be a Boolean type. Okay. Then we need on change. Whenever we are changing something, we need to change this value. This is going to return nothing. So equals to void. And this is going to get the value, which is the open value, and that is going to be type of Boolean. Okay. Then what I need to do is I need to get the title, that is going to be type of string. Then we need to get the description, that is also going to be a type of string. Then the children, what that I need to render inside this, which is going to be type of React node itself. And here this is an optional one. Description is an optional one. Okay. Then yep, I need to bring all these things over here. From the model props, you need to extract everything and put it inside over here. It's open, on change, title, description, children, everything is needed over here. Now I just have to copy this and I just have to import it. Then I just have to copy it from here. Then I just have to bring it over here. Okay, save it. And in this case, this open state, the dialog needs to be open. When it needs to be open, whenever the state is open. And on open change, it's based on this on change event which we have on this prop. Okay. Then the open trigger, of course, it is going to say as the open itself. If you need it, you can keep it. But in this case, we don't need any trigger itself because we are going to open this based on what? Based on the the state itself. So even if it is there, it's not an issue. Then the dialog content, the header and description, it's not necessary. So I'm just going to close this. And the dialog content, basically, it's going to be width needs to be completely full, but the maximum width is going to be LG. Okay. And from the large devices onwards, the maximum width is going to be 2XL only on the large devices. Then flex, everything, flex column directions, items, everything needs to be on the start. Justify, everything needs to be on the start position. Okay, save it. Now what I need to do is inside over here, I need to display that header, dialog headers and everything. So let's bring the dialog header. Inside the dialog header, I'm going to bring the dialog title, which is basically going to display the title. Then dialog description, which is going to display the description. Okay, description. So basically now we are done with the model props. Now all we have to do is to model, we need to create a provider for, we need to wrap this up in our layout structure. So I'm going to create myself in the root folder called providers, and inside the providers I'm going to create myself a new file called model providers.tsx and mark this as a client component. Use client RAFC, which is going to be model provider. Save it. Now this model provider, basically it's going to mount all our models in this model provider. Okay, but it sometimes it can cause us an hydration issue. We need to fix that. So let's say bring the use state snippet, we're gonna say is mounted. By default it's going to be false. So I'm gonna have the use effect method, and it's going to have a two parameters, an arrow function and the array dependency injection. Inside here, set is mounted. By default I'm going to change the value into true. So right after here, if the value is still is not mounted, which means it is in the server side, so it needs to return null. If the client side is being loaded, then I need to mount all the components, all the providers, all the models which I do have. So bring the empty React fragments and bring those models. So I don't have any that model. So basically what I'm going to do, I'm going to create myself one more model inside the components called Search Modal.tsx. Okay. So basically the model which we created is just the layout, the model structure. But here what we need to do, we need to bring the search model, right? So I'm gonna change this into use client or AFC, say search model. So here all these things are going to be wrapped. How it's going to be wrapped? It is going to be wrapped as the model. So let's bring the model, and model needs a title. So it's going to be search by products, and it needs a description. Description, I'm not going to supply any description. I'm going to keep it as an empty string over there. Then inside over here we need to supply the text or something. So that's the thing. Then I need to supply the state, the open state. So how that state is going to be. So basically the model is going to be loaded somewhere else, but we are going to access it somewhere else, right? So just for that we need to have a global state. So in order to maintain that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring one specific package called pnpm add ShadCN. This is the mini statement management library. So let's say add that pnpm add ShadCN. That's the one. So please make sure that add it properly. Then pnpm run dev. So let's run our application. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a new folder. Here we have already the hooks, and inside the hooks I'm going to say use search modal.tsx. Okay, so let's inside over here I'm just going to say import create from ShadCN. That's the thing. Then interface search model state, which is going to be is open. That is the type of the boolean itself. Then on open, which is going to be a callback function which returns nothing. Then on close, that is also going to be a callback function which is going to returns nothing. Then here I'm just going to say const use search model, which equals to create with the type of that search model state. Then it's going to have a function call, and inside that we're going to have an arrow function, and this function is basically going to take a parameter as a set. Inside this value function, inside this object, I'm just going to say is open. Okay, so that is some missing. Okay, so this function, it's not a direct function, it's going to be value of function. It's going to return a value as an object, and inside here I'm going to say is open, which is a false. By default it is going to be false. And on open change, I just need to call a callback function, and there I just need to say set. What I'm going to set, I'm going to set the is open object as what I'm going to return it as the true value. Then I'm just going to say on close, which is going to be a callback function. There I just going to set the value of this is open state into false. This is it. Then and finally I just need to export the default value, default use search model. That's it. Save it. Now all I have to do is to get into the search model, and here I'm just going to access those. Const open it is equals to use search model. From there I'm going to access this is open and on close. These are the things, these are the stuff that I needed. Okay, then I need to supply this is open state is based on the is open value. Then I need to say on change. Whenever there is a change is happening, I need to call my local on change function, which we don't have that yet. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to say const on change is equals to a function, and that function is basically going to take a value which is going to be an open value, that's the boolean. And here I'm just going to say if it is not open, then I'm just going to trigger the on close method, right? So whenever there's a changes is been happening based on the state value, it's going to automatically close that value. Okay, this is the on change and all these things. Now the search, everything is fine, and here I need to bring that search model. So now what I need to do is, so we have the model, which is a wrapper, which is the place where we are creating the complete model structure. Then we have the model provider to map all the search models, all the models which we are going to have in our entire project. Then we have the search model, which is wrapped. This is the place where we are going to call the search and filtering the products and everything. And this is the use search model to in order to trigger that search model wherever you want, from wherever you want. If you wish to open it, you can do that. So I need to bring that. So where I can wrap that model provider, get into your app, get into your layout, and there you need to wrap it right here. I need to bring that model provider, otherwise your models will never work. Now let's get into the page site, page.tsx, and inside the home container, whenever I click this search button, I'm going to say on click, I'm going to call handle search click. This is the function which we don't have yet. I'm going to copy this. Right after here, I'm going to bring that const is equals to use search model. Using that custom store, from that use search model store, I'm going to access this on open. Okay, then here const handle search click, I'm going to say on open, trigger it, call that function. That's it. Now if the user refresh it, okay, perfect. Now if the user clicks it, he can able to see this search model, which is perfectly fine. And the search model, it's not taking the size as I expected. So where is that model? Okay, so here it is, 2XL. Max width is 2XL. Max width is 2XL. Now it's a little bit bigger. And here basically what we are going to do, we are going to search for this popover. Oh, not that popover. We need to bring that combo box. Yeah, this is the one. Okay, this is the combo one that we are going to bring, which is just the search options or command, I think so. Yeah, this is the one, the command, the search field and the suggestions box and all those things. Currently what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring it hard-coded code over here, but later this needs to be structured based on the product what you have. So bring that import statements and bring all these in this location. Save it. And now if the user click this, it is going to bring, wait a minute. Okay, so we need to fix that. It's showing this open text. Why is that showing? That is because of this trigger. I don't need this trigger. Close this. Now if I click this, I need to see that. But the problem is why I can't see this. Refresh it. I can't see this. That is because of the children is not rendered here. Yes, it is. The children is not rendered. That's the reason I can't see that. So right after this header, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create myself a division, which is here. I'm going to bring the children. Let's see how does it looks. Okay, so it's not taking the complete width. So let's say width, that's the full one. Complete width. Now it's taking the complete width. Look at that. The filter and everything is working perfectly as it's supposed to be. Cool, right? So this is how that it looks. So by the originally, once you have the API and all those things, this is the place where you need to display all your products along with the images so user can search it. And here you can add the click actions also. So that's it. So we are pretty much done with the search section. So the user can search it by using the products over here. Cool, right? So we finished it successfully, and let's move on to the next section.